Today, we have to go back into our frame rails because they are not quite ready to stitch together yet. And I've been super busy. I think I'm gonna need some help.
Yes, guys, I'm finally gonna be getting in on this framework, so let's get into it.
Don't know how often we can't film because of all the noise in my neighborhood. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Project LSJ Fiero, and we are super excited to be here for you today. You know, we've been getting a lot of love and support online, and we have so many new subs, so it's just a really exciting time to be making videos for you guys. I wanted to make sure to thank you right away for that. We're working again on our frame, and we have to get the replacement frame pieces off of the parts panels. I'm gonna need some help. Rose, are you gonna be involved in that today?
Yes, I finally get to be involved with some of this framework, and I'm super excited because it's just not always the most time-effective or cost-effective thing to have me involved in all of the long-term projects that are going to take several hours, so we usually try to get me to do things that we can do intermittently while Alex is around the house while we watch the kids. But the whole goal for this project was that I was going to actually be more actively involved in a lot of the heavier duty work, especially with this frame, like the whole engine swap. I'm really excited to finally get my hands in on it, and Alex is going to be teaching me how to drill holes in the parts frame, and we're going to be removing panels so that when we go to put them on the project car, we can just spot weld them all on, and everything's going to be super neat, super tidy, and it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited to finally be a part of this.
Let's just, I'm going to teach Rose, and let's just start that right now. So I'm going to start out with some of the tools that we're going to use for this, and obviously you're familiar with this from some of the other episodes, but it's going to be a little bit more in depth today. I got some brake cleaner and a Blair spot weld cutter because our other spot weld cutters that are generic just weren't cutting it. So this is a name brand. Some extra heads. This is a drill with a kind of grinding disc on it to get the mastic off. Here's a wire wheel. This is the seam buster that is very, very important that we're going to use. It's a chisel and a hammer. And with those things, you can really separate a frame.
You guys, before we get any further into this episode, I want to take a moment to tell you that we are finally able to release a merch line for our YouTube channel, the Lightspeed Fieros. And guys, I'm just super excited. I made myself this cute little neon hoodie. We're thinking about releasing it. You have to see. I don't know. Depends on what you guys want. What do you need from us?
You know, with merchandise, like, we don't even care about merchandise one way or the other, but actually this build is turning out to be really expensive. Turbos are expensive, like parts are expensive, and honestly we're making the content for you guys. So if you buy any piece of merch, we are going to put all that money into buying parts for our build, and you can support us by buying t-shirts like this or hoodies like hers, and it'll all be available on our Etsy store. This is one of our first t-shirts that we made, and you know, it's just got a little Lightspeed Fieros logo here, kind of cute, right? You know, yeah. Lightspeed Fieros, support it, right? We have some other stuff, don't we?
Yeah, why don't you grab some of the other designs?
Oh yeah,
really quick.
Yeah. I mean, not everything is as little as this. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you've got a Project LSJ Fiero T-shirt. You know, Project LSJ Fiero with the Lightspeed Fieros logo underneath. Very cool. Oh, you're wondering what was on the back of my shirt? What is it? Oh, well, we have it on the front of this shirt. If you remember from the LSJ video, we're gonna go Watts Up and take them to Gapplebee's, and you can too. This is one specifically supported by Ecotech Nation. So if you're not part of the Fiero community, but part of the Ecotech community, this is a great shirt for you. All right, thanks guys. That's all we have for our merch, but just go to etsy.com/shop Lightspeed Fieros, and we'll provide a link down below.
All right, let's get back into this video.
The first step in this process is going to be cleaning and finding the spot welds, which is a lot different on your parts frame that you want to save everything from than it is on the car when you're ripping it apart, because you can damage those pieces, and these pieces we're really trying to keep intact. So right here I have a drill, and I'm going to show you, Rose, what we're doing here. We're going to be removing the rubberized mastic and seam sealer off the top of the spot weld so we can see the shape of the spot weld. So it's going to be kind of like one of these things. And we're going to remove some material, and then we can see the spot weld, which I'll show you in a second. Now, Rose, pick this up. This is the panel we removed from the actual car. Then we can see and count all the spot welds, and with our paint marker, I'm going to have Rose mark the spot welds that we find after she grinds them. Do you see any new ones that we couldn't see before?
Yeah, we got it.
Where's the white paint pen? All right.
So, can we mark both of these? There's two of them right here, it looks like.
Yeah, if there's two of them, mark them. Sometimes they can be right next to each other, which can be a real pain in the butt.
Okay, I'm just gonna mark both of these like that, because it's very clear there's two there. This one almost looks like there's two, but I think
there's just one there.
Yeah, but I just like rolled it. Alright, grinded it down. Does this look like one?
Yep, that's one.
There you go. So, in case it wasn't already said, you guys, I have this other panel over here that I can reference. And I kept it nearby so I can reference it when Alex is not standing here with me. So, gotten this one right here, so
okay guys, the next step is that we are going to use a punch, and we're going to take a center divot at every spot weld that we find. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now, Rose. So I'm looking, and then I see the center of the spot weld, which is easier the more you clean it. So that's why the cleaning is kind of important. And then I hold it down, and there's a little divot right where I held it. So that's good. And that'll be where we start the spot weld drill bit. That'll help the drill bit from walking, which is where the drill bit doesn't go where you want it to and starts moving off to the side. Now obviously you want to be really careful with your hand, and you want to be absolutely sure you're in the center of the spot weld. Push it down.
Right there, good. Nice.
All right, now we're back with our Blair spot weld drill bit, which apparently is a lot better than Harbor Freight. So we shouldn't have to pre-drill, was what Adam told me. So we're about to experiment with that right now. Got our pilot hole. Oh, and that's walking. That's exactly what I talked to you about. Oh wow.
Is it eating it?
It ate heat the drill bit up. Okay, we
cannot do this now.
Okay, what's cool about these guys is they're reversible. And now you're ready. So cool. Well, so much for demonstrating how Fiero to do it. Because so far that's not working out. We might pre-drill. After a couple days of space on the project, I decided that I was going to try something a little bit different. I realized that we don't need any of the frame rails underneath our pieces that we're pulling off, so we could just drill right through it because it's not the car that we're actually going to use the panels on. So Dan came over, used a 3/8 drill bit, and just started drilling through all the spot welds, which made it a little bit faster, but it's a time-consuming process. After drilling out all the spot welds, I used our seam buster tool to remove the B-pillar skin. It was quite a struggle to not bend it or damage it in any way. Jesus.
I mean, it's 3 pieces of metal, so.
Yeah, well, you know, getting the end of the frame rail, probably important. All right, we've done a lot of spot weld drilling here on the replacement panel, and the most important piece is going to be this frame rail that's on this side. That frame rail is also attached to the trunk over here, and because of that, we're going to try to save all this trunk because it's been damaged in the accident. Kind of making this up as I go along, so hopefully this is the most intelligent way to do it. The nice thing is that you can just keep stitching metal together. If you change your mind, it just becomes more and more of a time waster. So we're gonna see how that goes. So we have the frame rail separated from the rest of the subframe here, wow, we're just trying to get this crossbar off that's the bumper attaches to, because ours is all mangled, and that'll give us a reference point to make everything square and straight. So we need to get the remainder of this piece off and get a complete one from my parts car. If I had really known what was going on, I would have cut the complete one off the car we cut up months ago, but since I didn't, I cut right through it, and now we're gonna have to get another one. But you know, you want to do it right. So. Well, actually, like, we probably
don't need to go all the way through.
And we probably shouldn't go all the way through because we want to keep the integrity. Like, that's why you use the spot weld drill bit. We're actually using this back piece.
Oh, you might want to move your hand.
Yeah.
That was potentially bad. Damn it. No. Can't get on it.
All right, I'm as tired of all of you of just working on this frame. I super want to work on the LSJ and actually swapping the motor, but if you knew anything about our life and the things that are going on, you would see that I can't exactly work on the motor right now because of where it's located. You might recognize this shop from Project L67 Formula that you saw last week. This is the LSJ that is in Steve's shop right now, waiting to go into the car. We also modified a cradle so that it would actually fit with the engine mounts. Anyway, enough of that. That's what I'm good at. This frame shit, I'm learning with you. Rose is learning with you. We're chewing it up. And honestly, we would be doing the frame stretch this week, except our really good Fiero friend, Adam, is actually having his another son, like possibly right now, maybe yesterday. We want to congratulate Adam Skinner Jr. into the world, and we hope that his wife isn't having a too horrible time at the hospital. Maybe I can bribe him next week to actually stretch the LSJ Fiero project, but this week I'm going to leave him alone.